Adams Polishers has just released 2 new polishers to their lineup, and the good news is that they are cord-free. That's right, 2 new battery-powered polishers for your detailing needs within the industry. So, 2 different options, right? We have a 3-inch backing plate, 12mm orbit, and then we also have a 5-inch backing plate, 15mm orbit. Now, as I have these displayed, this is their basic kit. So Adams is always very good at doing a bunch of different options for people, right? So they have machine only, where you get the machine, the batteries, and the charger. Then you have the basic kit, which is what this is, and I'll touch on what that is in a second here. And then they have a, I can't remember what they call it, but a more premium kit that comes with a bunch of other stuff as well. My personal opinion, I think the best bang for your buck is right here in the basic kit. So really quickly, let's go ahead and walk through exactly what that comes with. So here it is, guys. Adams Polishers cordless 12mm swirl killer polisher. Again, this is the 3-inch backing plate, and I gotta say, the machine feels incredibly, incredibly good in the hand. Very, very ergonomic, very, very fluid trigger, feels really good. There's your backing plate. Battery goes there. Now they do include 2 different batteries. So we have a 2.5 amp hour battery, okay? And then we also have a 5 amp hour battery. So that's very nice when you need a little more runtime there, okay? Moving on from there, we also do get the battery charger and the cord for it. And you also do, it does come in this really nice little case as well. We'll talk about that as well. This may look a little familiar to some of you out there, and we will speak on that. Okay, so that would be polisher only. Then we go into the basic kit, and that is where you get a bottle of their polish, a bottle of their compound, and then actually this one gets 6 different pads. So you get 2 blue pads. It's kind of a, I don't know where they really land in this. Probably polishing. They have white, which is nice and soft finishing, and then you do get 2 blue interface foam microfiber pads. Very, very nice. And then additionally, you do get a nice, I can't remember what they call this. Their pad conditioning brush, I believe it is what it is. And it's nice, you have the bristles there. You also get a harder edge here if you want to dig into anything. Very, very nice little brush. Now, as far as the 15mm goes, the basic kit is the same thing here, guys. So we're going to jump into this real quick. The polish, the compound, the brush, and then you get 1 white pad, 1 blue pad, and 1 microfiber pad. Again, that's when you get it with the basic kit. The just polisher only would be the polisher itself here. Again, really nice. We'll touch on some of the kind of features on this. You get 2 5 amp hour batteries and the charger. All right, now, like I mentioned, guys, these may look familiar to you, and that is in the terms of the body of them themselves. If you are very, very knowledgeable in the detailing industry, this may look like a very familiar polisher to you, as well as the 15mm outside of the head. This is a custom molded head for them, but the rest of it, the rest of the body and things like that, again, may look very familiar, and that is because, and I did confirm this, they actually worked with ShineMate to produce these polishers. Now, I'm very, very excited about this because I've actually never used a ShineMate polisher in the past. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about their polishers. So finally excited to have one in my hand, and again, having it kind of tailored to the Adams setup. Again, it's all black, looks really, really good. Nice grip. I actually prefer this type of grip compared to the one that I've seen on the other machines, but fantastic looking quality here. Again, ShineMate's known for making quality polishers, so I think it's a great way to work together and create something that's gonna work for everyone. Now, with that said, when we look at pricing between these two, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm gonna show you guys screen captures here of the pricing of these units. Now, I'm gonna be comparing this to the polishers available from ShineMate on Parks Car Care, because I think they're one of the, if not the main distributor for the US, that's the place to go to get their ShineMates, right? So we're gonna be comparing those prices to these ones. And there is a bit of discrepancy, kind of a large discrepancy, but I think I figured out why, and we'll go into that as well. So right off the bat, this one here. Okay, this one would be similar to, if you go on to ShineMate's website, it would be the EB212, I believe. Now, I didn't see that on Parks Car Care. I saw what they had was the EB213, and that is a rotary version of this machine. This one is a 12mm orbit, right? Dual action. Pricing on those between the two, though, is basically the same. And as you can see here, guys, I'm going to show you the screen capture of Adam's website versus what's on Parks Car Care, and you can see the difference in price there, and it's quite significant. However, Adams really went through and kind of fine-tuned this thing to exactly the specs that they wanted to do. So with this one, from what I remember on this one from ShineMate, you get the 2.5 amp hour battery, and then you do not get the 5 amp hour battery that Adams spec this with, which I think is an absolute bonus, right? I would, if it didn't come with it, I'd be looking for that anyway. So I'm very, very glad that they included that. So there is some more value there, right? And that can justify the higher price. But also keep in mind, guys, Adams always has sales going on, and these are included in that. And right now, at the time of this filming, they actually have 25% off site-wide. So that brings this polisher, kitted out the way it is, actually down below the cost of the one from ShineMate. So fantastic, fantastic value. Now let's go ahead and play with this machine a little bit. So you have, it is all digital, right? And I'm just gonna be perfectly honest, guys. Digital polishers aren't my favorite. However, every 3-inch polisher that has been battery powered that I've used really is that way. So no harm, no foul. Right here though, we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Okay, you see the lights light up. You have power that you can increase and decrease, okay? I'm just gonna go full power for now. And then we have the trigger, and the trigger is extremely soft to pull, very, very nice. You can hear this thing, so smooth sounding. Very, very, very nice unit. Now, I do have vibration in my hand right now, but that's fair, right? There's no weight, it's not balanced to where it should be when you're actually using it. So we will put it on a panel and test that here in a little bit. The trigger itself is technically progressive, but it's very, very hard to get it there. So there's that, I got it going. Increase some more. So it is progressive, but it almost seems like there's a little bit of a delay, but still, insanely smooth, insanely comfortable in the hand. I actually love it. I think it's a really, really great unit. So that one's very, very exciting to me. Moving on to the 15mm. This one's a little bit different. So again, I'm gonna show the pricing up here along with the discrepancy there. Keep in mind, on Parks Car Care, they do have polisher only, but for them, the polisher only is literally the polisher only. You don't get batteries or chargers. So I think it's really cool that they offer that, because if you already have polishers and you just want backups, you can order them and you're already part of the whole battery platform. With that said, this one would be more comparable to the kit. So we have to look at those price by price. Now again, that one from ShineMate also comes with 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and it comes with a dual charging dock. This one comes with a single charging dock. That's fine with me because I'm going to be using one and then charging the other, so that's totally fine. But again, this one on sale brings it down to that, into a very, very similar price point as the other one. So very, very nice. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the features on this one. Number one that I love is the battery positioning. They mounted it sideways. They did not mount it like, well, here, let's see here. The Rupes, okay? The Rupes is mounted forward facing, okay? You see that? And what that does is it takes away a lot of the clearance that you should have. So that always bothered me. I wish they had rolled that over. The Adams unit, it is positioned that way. So it's very, very nice. It sticks out of the way a bit more, especially when you have a backing plate on it. It gives you a nice bit of distance. So you have a little dock here, so when you lay it on the back, it doesn't, it sits on that very, very nicely. The rubberized grip. Now, when I get into like my pressure washer gun and everything that I've been developing, I didn't want to do a rubberized grip because I kind of feel like sometimes it makes me feel like I'm going to get a blister. This rubberized grip is very nice. Like, I don't think there would be any issue. It feels really good. So I like that a lot. You have your speed dial right on the back here. And then you have your trigger right up front here, locking mechanism right here. One thing to note is the locking mechanism is very, very flush to the body and doesn't require, let me turn this down, doesn't require a lot to push it in. Oh. There you go. So you can see it recesses in a little bit more. Now, for me, I would almost prefer if it stuck out a little bit more and then sat here so that you don't have to push it into the hole to get it to lock. But regardless of that, I think it's a great little trigger lock and feels nice. We're gonna go ahead and turn this thing up. Actually here, we'll look at the dial. So no tactile feel and no noise. Just slides. It is nice so when you have some clicking to it, but still, I'm not gonna dock any points for that. It feels very, very precise. We're gonna go ahead and turn it all the way up. We're gonna lock it into place. We're on 6, we're gonna back it down. Okay. Okay. Good, good, and good. So you can actually hear a performance difference at every level, which I like. Sometimes polishers don't. so the numbers really don't mean anything, but this really does. The backing plate is really nice as well. So you have this hard backing at the back of it, and then you have a nice plush, plush is probably the wrong word, but a nice foam interface here, and then tons of ventilation as well for the backing plate. So I like it. So with all that said, we kind of went over the brief rundown on that. We're gonna go ahead and grab a panel and start polishing with it to see how it feels in the hand. My personal favorite, guys, I've used a bunch of different battery powered polishers. And I've talked about them a lot in the past, and people have always said, hey, try out the ShineMate. So again, that's why I'm excited for this. But my favorite system right now, Liquid Elements battery powered polisher. I love that thing. It's a 15 millimeter, very, very smooth, great machine. And then that battery platform, they actually use a battery platform that works with Makita batteries. And with that, I'm also able to run the Clean by Pan 18 millimeter polisher and the DIY Detail 25 millimeter polisher. So I like having that wide range available to me. Now with these batteries, I don't know. Let's see, maybe they work too, who knows? Okay, so here is a DIY Detail battery. Again, Makita platform. Where's the polisher? And already no. Doesn't work with that. So I don't, it looks to me that their battery system is proprietary. With that said, I believe that if you already have ShineMate polishers, these should all work together. So no worries there. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get to testing these things. And for the test, I'm going to be using the blue pad that they give me. It's the stiffer of the foam pads that they give. Why do I want to do that? Because I think that this would give the most feedback into the polisher. Obviously, the soft white pad is nice and soft. It's gonna run super smooth with that. Same thing goes with the microfibers. I just feel like they move really nice. So this, if you don't, if the polisher doesn't want to, it'll kind of skip sometimes with something like this if it's dry. So we're gonna run this on the 15 as well as on the 12. Now, real quick, let's just go ahead and turn the machine on. Now that it has a pad on it, it should be balanced a bit better. And feel how, now I know you can't feel this, but vibration is extremely low. We're on 1 right now. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 2. Okay, 3. I mean, vibration honestly almost feels like it's even settling in better at the higher speeds. 4. Wow. 5. Guys, insanely smooth feeling. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. Let's do the same thing now for the 3-inch. All right, so I got it powered on, got the blue pad on there, centered nicely, so we're good to go. I'm gonna turn it all the way down, gonna pull the trigger. Gosh, this thing is crazy. It feels so smooth and sounds so good. Let's go ahead and bump it all the way up to the most. It's interesting. Now, vibration is very, very good. I feel a little bit in this hand where the grip is. I don't feel much up here at all, so fantastic. Now, real quick, guys, 3-inch polishers, right? There is another new one on the market from Barjack Tools, and I actually sell those ones. I have no affiliation with the Adams one. I say I have no affiliation. I have no, if you buy anything from them, I don't make anything from it. The Barjack Tools, I sell on my personal website. But my good friend, I know guys over at Adams, they're awesome, awesome people. When they make a product that is cool, I love to highlight it, and so far, so good, man. These things are incredible. And guys, just for reference on that, this is the new Barjack polisher here. Again, 3-inch backing plate, 12 millimeter orbit, also digital, but in a little bit different of a way. So this one, you plug in the battery, there's no on off, it's on, ready to go. And then you still have, so you see you have some power guidelines here. Hopefully you can see that, but it's lit up, and you can increase and decrease the speed as needed. And this also does have a progressive trigger as well. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it all the way up. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys, it's a smaller trigger, but also very, very fluid. Slow, more. So I would say that this one is a little more precise in the progressive trigger, but still, I mean, both of these things are absolutely phenomenal. Now, I will be doing a full breakdown of this guy as well from Barjack Tools. That'll be coming to the channel soon. But just real quick, I just want to give you a noise test. They're both at full power. And then this one. So in my opinion, the Barjack is slightly quieter, but like, or just a different noise, because this thing is insanely quiet as well. It just, also depending on the power that this thing puts down, noise isn't essentially, isn't necessarily the most important thing. Both of them are extremely quiet. So it's more what kind of power I can put down. But like I said, I'll be reviewing this thing at a later date. All right, guys, so we've got a panel laid out here, and I'm just gonna start polishing on it. Now, this isn't gonna be a test of, like a full test of correction ability and all that kind of stuff, because this panel is pretty trashed, right? So I'm not testing that. More so just testing stall and all that kind of stuff. See how, again, how smooth it feels, and then if it stalls on any of these rounded out edges. So let's get into it. All right, guys, now I'm also gonna have you on my neck, so hopefully we get some good footage. I'm gonna be utilizing the blue pad and the compound. All right, guys, so here we go. We're just gonna go ahead and take the compound, add 3 drops. Okay, I actually like to add, this is my first time using the pad, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit more around here, just so that we can get a nice priming of the pad. I'll actually take my finger, kind of try and spread it out a little bit. Again, I think for our purposes on this is good enough for right now. So, okay, we're good there. I'm gonna add 3 more small ones. Okay, let's do this. Let's go ahead and put the polisher there. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna start off at 1. Pull the trigger. Again, guys, it feels very, very smooth. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let's see, over edges, I don't see any stalling right now. And again, we're at speed 1, so I'm gonna put the, yeah, it feels good. It feels really good. Let's go ahead and bump her up. I'm gonna go 3.5. That's typically, in most cases, where I like to sit. Guys, it feels extremely smooth. Gotta tell you, that's one of the things I love about the Liquid Elements 15 millimeter. It's extremely smooth. And then again, like I said, the fact that I can swap batteries with my Liquid Elements, my Clean by Pan 18 millimeter, and my 25 millimeter DIY detail. That platform really makes a lot of sense for me. But like I said, if you are part of the ShineMate platform, this thing is beautiful. God, it's extremely smooth. Feels so nice. Again, one-hand operation, even if you have to reach across a hood or a roof. Very, very easy. Again, let's try and get this thing to stall on a hard edge, on a rollover. Doesn't really, it's not stalling. Again, I'm sure you can get it to stall, but that comes down to kind of user error as well, right? Nowadays, these polishers are getting so good that you should be able to finesse it over anything. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and turn this guy off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just really quickly wipe out this compound. Whoa, geez. And again, this panel is not in any sort of shape where I'm going for full correction or anything like that. We're just feeling out the machine and seeing what it can do. All right, guys, would I recommend it? Yeah, 1000%. Great little machine. Feels absolutely fantastic in the hand. Really, really smooth. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 3-inch 12 millimeter now. Okay, here's this guy. Let's go ahead and just switch over to the 5 amp hour battery just for fun. Okay, again, we got to turn it on. Okay, we're at full power. You can scale that back, as you can see. So I think what it is I have to clarify this. I'm not 100% sure, but you see how there's a little line right here? And I'm thinking that may be your battery indicator. Maybe that changes color, I'm not sure. And then these 3 are your power indicator. So you can bump it up through there. Because you go all the way down, it doesn't go any less than that. So I think that may be the case, but not 100% sure. We'll look at that in the instructions. But let's go ahead and do the same thing. For this one, I'm just gonna put a little X. All right, same thing, prime it in. Basically priming, we're just getting material of the compound all across the pad so they don't have any dry spots, right? Even though this spot may look not nearly as saturated as this one, there is still some material there. So that's what we want, okay? I'm gonna go 1, we'll stick to 3, even though it's a very small pad. And let's go, let's get after it here. So again, I'm gonna pull the trigger and then I'll up the speed. Man, this thing's so smooth. That's full power. Again, I wanna see if we're gonna get any stalling. So guys, I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit. Just keep an eye on that backing plate. I'm putting a lot of force down on it now. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can hear that. It almost wants to compensate for how much pressure I put on there. But yeah, extremely smooth. Gosh, it feels really, really good. Now I am at full speed here, and that's, from what I'm feeling, this is where I would probably use it. Let's back it off a little bit. I mean, not bad, especially if you're kind of working with this thing, trying to finesse it into like B-pillars on the door panels and things like that, headlights. It's just a really, really, really nice unit. Now, there is no trigger lock on it, which I do wish we had, to be perfectly honest, because right here, I'm holding it and it's just a really close grip. So I wish I could kind of come back, lock it in place and come back. Just something to note there. But yeah, the polisher feels extremely, extremely smooth. Really, like, feels like insane quality. All right, guys, now I just went ahead and looked into the instructions, and it states right here. So like I said, that battery on the far left is the battery and load indicator, and then the 3 on the right are all your speed level indicators. So, but the instructions they give you, if you have any questions, man, it's very, very detailed and very, very nice. So it has everything you need. All right, guys, so there you have it, the new battery-powered polishers from Adams Polishes. Again, I'm very, very impressed with the quality. Again, like I said, they did work with ShineMate on these, and the quality, the smoothness of the machine, it's fantastic. Really, really like them. So again, you have the 5-inch 15mm option, you have the 3-inch 12mm option. Both of them are incredible. I will link these down in the description for you guys, along with, actually, I don't have to link it's just Adams Polishes, but I'll link it down there. And then right on top, currently I think it's the code just save, I think, but it saves 25% off site-wide. So now's a great time. Again, this one comes in at a very, very similar price point as the ShineMate, but from what I've seen, this one, you can get a little bit less, and then you can even get the basic kit with all that stuff for about the same price. So absolute home run there. Again, I think the black colorway on these is really nice as well. But that's it for today's video, guys. Just wanted to share that with you. I'll probably do a more long-term test result with these as well, actually testing runtime and all that kind of good stuff. But they're ShineMate. ShineMate batteries are great. I've heard nothing but great things, like I said. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to get any of these. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.